Yo, what's up, bros and broettes? So today I am going to be showing you how I failed 3 times. Not one, not two, but 3 times at bleeding my clutch by myself. So, let's get on with attempt number 1.
Yo, what's up, bros and broettes? So when I got this 240 here, which is what we'll be working on, obviously you've read the title by now, we are going to be self-bleeding the clutch. Well, I guess one-man person bleeding. Since I don't have anybody here to help me to pump the clutch on the inside, what I did when I had my first 240, I came across the same issue that I had no clutch pedal. So what I did is I ended up taking the master cylinder out, and what I do is I get myself a little piece of, rubber hose, small enough to fit over the nipple of the bleeder valve down at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll feed the other end of this hose into my little can of brake fluid. I mean, it was very cheap, so I'm not really worried about wasting this little bottle of it. And what I'll do is I'll pump over here, and it'll push the air out into here, and the air will float to the top of the bottle. And then when I let it release back in, it will pull fluid instead of air. So I'm going to go ahead and get that set up at the bottom, crack that open, get this over the nipple, and then I'll show you what it looks like, how I have it set up. So let's get to it. So once you have it all set up, that's what it should look like. It's coming off the little bleeder valve down there, runs right into the brake fluid bottle. And then you just come over here and just pump it by hand. Oh yeah, I can already feel it getting stiffer. I highly doubt you can see what I'm doing, but I'm going to move this over here so you can see better. So you just push it in by hand. Yeah, it's definitely getting stiffer already. Did I run out? Yep, ran out. So you'll just keep doing that method until you get pressure. It gets really hard to push. It takes a few times to get it, but once you got it, you got it. So once I got that all finished up, I'll be back, guys.
Alright, so that was attempt number 1. Try to continue with that method for probably about 10 or 20 more minutes. Didn't work. So on to attempt number 2, which is where I reinstalled the clutch master cylinder back to the firewall and onto the clutch, and tried pumping it with the clutch. So let's see attempt number 2 and watch me fail at that. So here's attempt number 2.
What's up, bros and broettes? Today we are going to be doing... Man, I suck at these videos. But hey, I love doing it. With that being said, today we're going to, as you probably read from the title already anyways, we are going to be one-man bleeding the clutch. It is possible to do it on your own, and it is actually fairly easy. Obviously, it's easier with 2 people, but with one person, you just have to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. My screwdriver against the pedal, like that, so that it doesn't come back. And then I re-break that line back loose so that I can push out any air that's been pushed to this end. I'll reach down here, break it loose, tighten it back up, just finger tight, and then I repeat that process until I have clutch pedal. So, onward. What's up, guys? So as you saw in the beginning of the video, this is obviously I want to show you why I could not bleed my clutch. Now, when I had my first 240, it was a 1993 Nissan 240. So just like this, but it was the brown and it had the poopy brown interior, which a lot of people seem to call it. But the thing is it was a manual in the beginning, and it had that clutch dampener. I'm sure that many of you 240 owners know what I'm talking about. It's a clutch line dampener, and the clutch, the line comes down from the master cylinder into that dampener. Then another line comes out of the dampener into the clutch line hose that comes off the clutch cylinder, slave cylinder. So it goes to that dampener, and you gotta bleed that dampener first, and then bleed the slave cylinder after you got the dampener bled. Well, when I had my first 240, I bypassed the dampener because a lot of people on the forum said, hey, just bypass that crap, it's useless, it doesn't do anything, and it's way easier to bleed the clutch when you have that bypass. Well, seeing that this is auto to manual, I thought, hey, maybe, damn, mosquitoes, mutants out here. I thought maybe I don't have a clutch dampener. Maybe they just, because it was an automatic. Well, when I had my manual, it was just a little block that the one in, one out, and a bleeder valve on it. Now this thing came with this monstrosity. It wasn't on my car, not this big at least. It has this thing right here, whatever that is, yeah. Well, I couldn't get the lines out of there. I snapped one off here, and then I had to snap the other one off.
Alright, so with attempt number 3, I actually did not film, which is perfectly fine. Attempt number 3, I found out that I had, obviously you saw that big ass freaking thing, that clutch dampener. I ended up ripping that out only after I broke a line trying to get it out. Then I broke a second line because I couldn't get the nut to break loose even after dousing it in a soaking PB blaster. So I decided to go to pull apart to get the clutch line from the 240 there. When I got there, the clutch line was already gone, so I grabbed the brake line for the front passenger wheel, for the front passenger brake. Grabbed that, brought it back home, and attempted to reinstall it into the car. Tried to get the broken line off of the rubber line that comes off the slave cylinder. Couldn't get that off, so I took off the rubber line and put the hard line straight into the slave cylinder. Well, that didn't work. Why? Because the threads were not deep enough on the hard line to make the hard line seal in there. So when I tried to pump it and get pressure in the line, it started squirting out brake fluid at the slave cylinder. So I said, well, shit, what can I do now? So what I ended up doing was trying to I cut the hard line, cut the rubber line, and then wedged the hard line into the rubber line, and then clamped it down and held it tight. Well, I did that, started getting pressure, everything was good, and then the hard line and the rubber line blew off of each other, sprayed brake fluid everywhere. So I said, screw it, this obviously ain't working. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to order the ISR auto to manual stainless steel braided clutch line. I'm just gonna do that, call it a day, get it bled, and have a clutch again. But all of this really doesn't matter because the car at this moment is not running. So, but I do need to get that line. It's like 30 to 40 bucks on eBay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that ordered, and then just call it a day with that clutch line. I hope you guys are enjoying my videos. I know obviously I failed at this one, but hey, I don't care. I had fun doing it. Obviously, you experiment with things, you find out what works, what doesn't work, and clearly these 3 things didn't work for me. Even though the first try I did worked with my first 240, so I'll try that again once I get the new clutch line. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, because that goes a long ways with help get my content out there. And if you haven't subscribed, then do it, because I want you to. So until next time, guys, peace out and never look back.